Alright everybody, welcome back to the Absolute Ultimate Escapies Comics Podcast, episode 13. We've got some new comics to talk about, some comics news to talk about, but first Dr. Pearl is going to sing us an intro song.
1. Nothing's wrong with me. 2. We read comic books. 3. On our gay podcast. 4. Nothing's wrong with me. Let the comics hit the store. Let the comics hit the store. Let the comics hit the store.
Alright, with that, let's get into it. Persephone, what did you get up to this week in comics?
Well, you and I briefly met the head of Drawn and Quarterly, the publisher and president of Drawn and Quarterly, which was incredible.
That was cool, yeah. Peggy Burns came into the store. She said hi to us. Apparently we're one of Drawn and Quarterly's top-selling stores, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
What, like in California?
From the way she said it, it sounded like period, but I have to assume California.
Yeah, or at least the Bay.
My guess is that if she's saying it, it's at least California, but I'm unclear. I could see us being one of the top ones.
We're her
in the
biggest
US.
cash cow this side of the Mississippi, is what I'm hearing.
That is the way that she talked about it. It sounded like we were really in competition with Silver Sprocket, and then also Kinokuniya, the Japanese bookstore in San Francisco, but the only Drawn and Quarterly books that Kinokuniya even stocks, apparently, are Moomin books, but they just sell so many Moomin books that they're, like, top of the market for Drawn and Quarterly, which I frankly think is beautiful.
We never sell Moomin.
I'm glad that lesbian comics are getting out there.
Is Moomin a lesbian?
Tova Janssen, the creator of Moomin, famed lesbian. Yeah.
I didn't even know about this famed lesbian.
Yeah, she's very cool.
I'm a bad lesbian.
You don't live in little mushroom caps or anything.
Oh my god,
Yeah, that's
Dochi came
Tova.
out of the closet. Did you hear about this?
She did. Dochi came out of the closet.
She came out of the closet, and I kind of assumed she was, like, already out as gay.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
I mean, she was obviously at least bisexual.
Yeah,
that was obvious.
She was somewhere on the fruit salad spectrum, but I just was... Yeah, I kind of thought she'd already done that.
Yeah, somewhere on the fruit salad spectrum. You heard it here first, folks.
That was very cool. It was neat to talk to her and kind of, just kind of hang out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We love Drawn and Quarterly. We're getting lots of books in from them all the time. I have a new book review coming out for the Comics Journal of one of their books, which is The Wood Chipper by Joe Ullman, which I guess I can talk about a little bit.
Oh, I read what you posted. It looked really cool.
What I posted?
On your Instagram. Am I crazy?
What did I post on my Instagram?
Didn't you post screen caps of your review?
Oh, I posted screen caps of, Wait, okay, which one? What do you...
It was the
one?
wood chipper, right?
Is it not the wood?
I didn't post anything about
Oh
the
no,
Wood
it was the
Chipper.
Superman one. It was the Superman
Oh
one.
yeah, this was from my Substack on Grant Morrison and Vertigo. You should keep reading them. They're coming out weekly. But yeah, I guess I can talk about the Wood Chipper, and then the next Drawn and Quarterly book I'll be reading is the new Tilly Walden, which I have not read yet, but I will be reviewing that for the Comics Journal as well, which I'm excited about. Love Tilly Walden.
Yeah, Tilly's great.
Yeah, there's like a lot of comics that I was excited about this week, and I've only read like a third of them. But we have more news to talk about, so let's talk news first.
Yeah, let's talk news first. So, other than Drawn and Quarterly, which thank you, Peggy, for coming in. We all had a lovely time talking with you, and we got a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff. Check out some Drawn and Quarterly books if you haven't already. Tilly Walden has one coming out. Michael DeForge, a significant amount of his output is through them. Freddie Carrasco's Gleam, a lot of people that we really like. But setting that aside, Corinne and I went to Pride and Panels over the weekend. The San Francisco Public Library hosted the Pride and Panels event. And so a lot of cool, like, queer comics artists were there. We talked to I didn't get cards for everybody. The people I got cards for were Adeline Cohn, Natalie McKean, ABO Comics, who we'll be talking a little bit more about, Jack Foster, Biolumin Press, Cam McCafferty, Blue Delicanti, Fractal, as I believe their name. We talked to Ed Lusch of Lovable Oaf really briefly. We talked to... I'm forgetting who was tabling next to Ed Lusch, but we really enjoyed talking with you about Kickstarter projects. We talked to Lee Lai a little bit, or at least I talked to Lee Lai a little bit and saw a presentation that Lee Lai did, which was incredible. If you can find Lee's talk, it's really, really good. I think there are two kinds of presenters that you enjoy seeing like a talk by, and it's like either people who are like really, really good at like working a room and are just like very entertaining to watch, and then there are people who are like incredibly informative and like inspiring to like when you listen to them you're just like, oh, I want to go make things. Like you're like really getting my gears turning about making art. And not to say that Lee wasn't like very charming, because Lee also was very charming and very fun to listen to, but I felt very like it was very generative to listen to Lee talk. Like Lee left us with like a lot to think about, and I kind of don't want to summarize any of that talk here just because I think I do a poor job of it, but it's recorded somewhere. I'm going to try to find it. If we can find it, maybe we'll post it in the show notes, but yeah, if you can find that, well worth watching. Briefly to talk about ABO Comics, we'll talk more about them when I end up meeting with them, but ABO is a local organization that does like comics anthologies done by queer prisoners, and they have like several of these anthologies among many other works. They do a lot of really cool work with like queer prisoners. They do a lot of really cool abolition work. They do some like letter writing stuff and outreach. They're a really fucking cool organization. Thank you to Casper of ABO for talking with us so much. I'm gonna go down there at some point because I live pretty close to their offices. So I'm going to have a conversation with them soon about stocking some of ABO's books in the store. And speaking of books that we have stocked in the store, we have copies. We bought some store copies of a few books by local people. Thank you to Natalie McKean for M33 Galaxy of Hybrids. Adeline Cohn for My Father Was a Good Man. I read that. I enjoyed it. Soft Physics and Love Triangulation by Blue Delicanti, who did Adversary with Silver Sprocket, if you read that a couple years ago. Glimmer, which is an anthology of lesbian fiction. I didn't recognize a lot of the names in it, but I did recognize Kimberly Wang, who did also work with Sprocket on For Thunder and Lightning, or Of Thunder and Lightning, something like that. Really good. Baptism in the Mud by... who did this one? I read Cam McCafferty. Read Baptism in the Mud, enjoyed it a lot. I think it's a really interesting little, like, doll girl kind of story. And some zines like Bespoke by Ace and Witches Crossing, also by Ace. So we all have those in the store now. And yeah, come by, pick up a cool queer comic. Like, we've talked a lot on this podcast about queer comics and, like, how queer comics often get like, kind of like pigeonholed into like being like a certain type of thing, but like these comics are a pretty wide spectrum of like queer stuff, some of which you've seen before, some of which you haven't. So yeah, come check it out. We have these little hauls, and thank you to everybody that talked with us at Pride and Panels. And thank you to the San Francisco Public Library for hosting it. It was a really, really cool event. Really enjoyed talking with everybody there. We're talking about potentially having a booth there next year as part of Escapist.
Are you gay?
I have some bad news for you, baby girl.
Because you have to be gay.
Yeah. No, I emerged from the closet like crawling on the ceiling.
Persephone
like
coming out like Dochi.
Just in case anybody didn't know, by my beautiful face and big rack, I am a woman of the homosexual persuasion.
I'm persuaded.
I remain unconvinced. I might need to see them.
My rack or my credentials?
Yes.
That'll be on Escapist After Dark.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to see my rack, they have to pay $5 to our Patreon, which good luck finding that. But if you find it and give us $5, Then you get to see my rack.
Yeah, again, we do this podcast completely naked. In the store.
In the store, yeah.
We are
During
nude
working
and in
hours.
the store.
Which is why you should be a subscriber if you're not listening to us, because if you're a subscriber, you get to come down and see us naked as fuck.
Jack,
That's
Jack
what the
comes in a
Patreon.
lot more when we're doing the podcast.
The retail law.
Yeah, your boss will come in and see you naked podcasting. He probably would just come in and just go, all right, and leave. He would accept it.
I feel like he'd giggle.
Probably, actually. Just a little
Yeah.
giggle. Like, he'd be like a respectful giggle.
He was so happy that I came into Dark Carnival today and like
Aw.
looked for a book. I was like, I'm actually looking for a book today.
Was it Jurassic Park?
It was the second Jurassic Park book.
Fuck yeah.
The first one is really good, guys. Like, it's really, really good.
One of these days I need to read it. I've read some other Crichton book a long time ago and thought it was really good.
Yeah, it took me like 2 days or something to read it. It was so good. I was so impressed. It was sweet, delicious trash. But like, not like bad. It was like trash the way that like when you read The Shining, you're like, this is really good. Like, he's doing a really good job at this.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Jurassic Park was. Better than the movie, way more anti-capitalist than the movie.
That makes sense to me.
Like where the movie, like the old guy who like creates the park is kind of this like benevolent childlike guy who just like really wants kids to like see dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
In the book he's like evil.
Yeah.
He's like, only the rich children will come and see this, and like I don't care that like dinosaurs have killed like 5 Costa Rican like workers. We just like will cover it up. Like it's far more just like anti-capitalist. It's very cool. I like it. I feel like sorry guys, my wife is calling me.
I think we should leave that in the podcast. My wife is calling me, cut to ads. If we had ads.
I think that Pearl should just riff.
Available now on
VHS.
VHS Escapist Industries. We bring you the newest and rawest version of Jurassic Park meets Barbie meets X-rated website.
Sleeved or unsleeved comics, my dear.
Buy now.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a commercial. This commercial brought to you by Pearl B, who's a doctor.
And a missus.
Last name
She's actually
unknown.
unmarried. Just putting it out there, and there's no ring on her finger.
Engaged to be engaged.
Yeah, well, engaged to be engaged. That's...
And anyways, that's why you should date me, Pearl Berry. This has been my dating want ad.
Ooh.
It costs a lot of money to advertise with the Escapists, so please call me. My
Yeah.
number is 666 Gay Devil.
She had to slap 2 hundos down on Jack's table to get this advertisement in, so please, don't let that money go to waste.
Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. What did we read?
Well, we read...
I didn't just like heartlessly hang up on the wife.
On the love of your life.
Yeah, she was calling me to tell me how the new Wuthering Heights movie was.
I do want to know her opinion later.
Yeah, some of my friends saw it before I came down to San Diego, and I was told it was so bad it was good.
Okay.
They described a sweeping, very normal orchestric orchestral score, and then occasionally Charlie will come on vocals and be like, I shouldn't have come to your house, and you hear like Charlie shit while Wuthering Heights is happening.
Charlie
XCX
is in the movie.
She does the
the
soundtrack for it. The
For
original
Wuthering
soundtrack.
Heights.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sometimes I forget she's.
That's
British.
why her new album is called Wuthering Heights. It's because of the movie.
I do not know about her new.
Is killing your bride
haven't
to
listened
be's
to the
dog
album, but-
Brat? The questions posed by the new Wuthering Heights adaptation.
How did they not have Kate Bush do the music? This is insane.
Also, apparently there is at least one puppy play scene in the new Wuthering Heights movie. There's a lot of on-screen sex for a Bronte novel adaptation, is what I've been told.
As much as I do not respect Emerald Fennel, I do respect that choice. I do think there should be more on-screen sex.
I want to put it on
Bronte
record
adaptations.
that I am what was the last movie that she did?
Saltburn?
I am a Saltburn hater.
Yeah.
I think Saltburn is stupid. I accept liking it. I just think that it is bad, and I think that this is one of those takes. Like, I do have takes where I'm like, I think I'm probably wrong, but I will stand by this. And I have takes where I'm like, I think I'm right, but I could be convinced otherwise. This is a take where I'm like, I think I'm right, but Saltburn fans are such that I will not bang my head against the wall trying to convince you that it's a bad movie.
Yeah, similarly with Promising Young Woman.
Have you ever seen The Love Witch?
We do not have time to get into the Love Witch. We do not have. Okay, you know what? No. I just think, first of all, like, if the most interesting thing you can do with your movie is that it looks like the 70s, well, guess fucking what? Movies from the 70s exist. I can go watch that. Second of all, like, making a movie look like it's from the 70s is like not actually that much of a, like, not actually that good.
I knew this would trigger her.
Third of all, I don't want people telling me how, like, cool and feminist The Love Witch is when the woman who made it is dating the guy who, like, made the incel, like, manosphere, like, fucking playbook. The pickup artist. There we go. I forget the name of the book, but he's, like, the main, like, 12 rules to pick up chicks book. Like, she's married to that guy. Like, I don't want to fucking hear it. Like, I've seen it. It's not offensive. It's just boring.
I can't believe Pearl just content farmed you.
I really do.
That was crazy.
I do this to her all the time.
She does like to trigger her wife. What happened to Happy Wife, Happy Life?
You know what's triggering me? The fact that you're lying that she's your wife.
Yeah, marry
That's what's
me.
triggering
If
me.
you marry me, I'll be your wife.
Yeah. Maybe get a ring. Fucking rich.
Look how many rings
middle
you have. I don't have
management.
any
Yeah.
rings.
The money bags that I'm making as, like, unofficial assistant manager.
Yeah, you do love to throw around the assistant manager dick in the store all the time.
It makes me feel special. I didn't understand how much of, like, a special girl having a title would make you feel until I was told one time very casually that I was thought of as the assistant manager. And now I understand it. I understand how power corrupts, absolutely. Do I have power? No. But do I have a title? Also no.
Do you have the illusion of power?
Yeah, kind of.
You do.
Yeah.
The rest of us are not under this illusion.
which is why it works. It's because I don't have any real power and everybody knows it.
I'm trying to picture you, like, telling someone what to do in the store, and
I
it's
would never.
really hard to imagine.
I would never
I'll do whatever
that.
you tell me to do.
I know.
If you buy
Mrs.
her a
H.
ring.
I know that. Okay, well, to be fair, I haven't needed to buy a ring for that to happen, but that's not the point.
Hey,
So-
I believe in premarital sex.
So, comics that we read this week. The stuff that I picked up this week. I have The Amazing Spider-Man. This week's, it looks like, is a space issue. I haven't read it yet. I'm behind on ASM because I'm not very compelled by a book that is literally 50% garbage. I have Walking Dead Deluxe, which I'm really collecting at this point just because, like, I have all of it, and I just feel like I guess I'll finish it. I'm really excited to catch up on Fantastic Four by Ryan North. It's just really fun. I'm liking how sci-fi, goofy, weird, kooky it is. Also excited to catch up on some Mark Waid World's Finest, which I also have a few issues behind on. Very hyped that Tamara Bonvillain, is on this issue, just because I love her work. Got a new Nick Wynn Adventure Time issue. Also hyped for this. These are all the ones I have not read.
Okay.
I've been on a road trip the last few days, so I'm really behind. I haven't just been slacking. Very excited for Death Fight Forever.
That's a fun one.
Which I'm excited for just because I love McLean. Huge Headlopper fan. It's just good fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for Muppets Noir from Dynamite. I think it's really funny it's from Dynamite.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense to me that it is, but I'm very hyped for this. I love when the Muppets do crime.
Mm-hmm.
Huge fan of that concept. Oh, and then Persephone pulled me 2 issues of Fantastic Four. Some manager, am I right?
Manager.
And then we got It's Jeff meets Daredevil,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm very hyped about. Some of the best covers on the shelf this week by far.
Yeah.
Jeff meets Daredevil.
The Daredevil as the shark from Jaws coming up to get Jeff.
Little cutie Jeff.
Thank you, Nick Klein, for that one. Appreciated.
And then the things that I want to talk about that I've actually read from this like stack of issues that I have is Absolute Batman number 17. This is the 3rd Vertigo title of the month, which is End of Life by Kyle Starks. And then the final Ultimate Spider-Man issue. And then I guess I'll talk about Joe Ullman's Wood Chipper, which is, I think, pretty good. I'll just go over it briefly, but you can read the Comics Journal review whenever it comes out, which I think will probably be in like the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Ullman. It's not Joel, right? Yeah, it's Joe Ullman.
Joe Ullman, yeah.
Ollman. Ullman's like a kind of Canadian comics mainstay. He's been like an indie anthology editor. He's been an indie bookseller in Canada for a really long time. He's won, he hasn't won, but he's been nominated for kind of Canada's most prestigious literary award. He's the first, and as far as I know, only cartoonist to have been nominated for it. He's kind of contemporaries with a lot of the kind of Canadian indie crowd, as I think of it. Your Seths and your Tominas and whatnot, or sort of that whole Drawn and Quarterly crowd.
Yeah.
But he does like kind of anxiety-ridden, neurotic short stories in this collection. The Wood Chipper is a short story collection, which Ullman's a big fan of, but which is like not very in vogue right now, because despite everyone being TikTok brained, I think just like short story collections are a hard sell. But these are pretty fun. It's like, I think there's like 5 stories in it, and each of them kind of revolves around a neurotic person getting stuck in like a weird and sort of anxiety-inducing situation, and then like the fallout from that. So like in one, someone gets like stuck in a bathroom after hours at work and is stuck there over Christmas as she wonders about the state of her relationship. In another, like a man is deeply traumatized after he like almost wood chippers a really dumbass coworker who is like digging around in the wood chipper to find his phone. They're really good, and kind of like the central conceit of them is like he's trying to make a story that is both compelling but in which nothing really happens in the end, which I think is quite hard, but I think he does a pretty good job. I will say, if you're not a fan of the like person whose emotions and anxieties and neuroses are turned up to 11 is put in a stressful situation type of narrative engine, these are probably not the stories for you. But if you do enjoy that every once in a while, I think this is a good story. It feels very much like if Mo from Dykes to Watch Out For made a book of short stories about people like her. This is what that book would be like, but this is like a straighter version of that. which is maybe a hard thing to parse as a comparison, but it just yeah, I don't know, it's fun. They're ultimately like very optimistic, hope-filled stories, which I enjoyed too, despite how kind of angsty and neurotic and freaked out every story is. They take like a good and kind look at the world and at humanity and life, which is nice, without being kind of rose-tinted. I would pick it up if you're like a short story fan. I haven't read any other of Ullman's work, although I know Corinne recently read one of his books, his most famous book. God, I'm so sleepy, guys.
It is a sleepy kind of day.
Do you want some stay awake candy?
No. Fictional Father. I know Corinne just read Fictional Father. I think she liked it. Yeah, pretty good book. Good thing out of Drawn and Quarterly. This doesn't feel as kind of hoity-toity as a lot of their stuff. So I think if you sometimes find Drawn and Quarterly comics to be a little too high-minded for your comic book taste, this is a little more down-to-earth, a little more goofy, silly, tee-hee-ha-ha, which I enjoyed. I love almost everything that Drawn and Quarterly puts out, just because I do love a high-minded comic.
Yeah.
But this is not really that. But yeah, that's my wood chipper brief review for the pod. Go to the Comics Journal to read my review whenever it's out. I'll post it on Instagram when it's out. But yeah, that was the kind of main book that I read. I'm almost done with my Catwoman of East End omnibus. Very excited about that. Ultimate Spider-Man. Have you read? You haven't read it, right?
I read the first volume, and then kind of similarly with Ultimate X-Men, having read the first volume, I was like, I just need to wait till this is done, and then I'm gonna catch up because I fell behind, and I'm very excited though.
We've talked about it a fair amount, so I'm gonna like not talk about it too much. This is the final issue 24. It was delayed. It was supposed to come out last month before Ultimate Endgame 1 came out, which makes a lot of sense when you read this, because like Ultimate Endgame just happens after this issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. But if you are reading both things, they're really not that confusing. Like, you can just read this and be like, this happened before.
Yeah.
Like, there's not that much kind of like overlap in the two series at all. It's not like this issue ends with the Ultimates being like, okay, Spider-Man, it's time to go into the Maker's Citadel, and then they like beam him up. It's just like the end to the Spider-Man story, which I think is like a very true ending thematically and narratively to the way that this book is structured, where it's about sort of really like individual, personal, empathetic characters swept up in this greater conflict. But unlike a lot of other Hickman stuff, you never lose the individual characters in the broad sweeping mega event. It's still very much just like a book about Peter Parker and his family and friends, and I think this is like a really good final issue to end on with that. Like, the tone feels really consistent with the rest of the series. I do think reading this in trade might be a better way to read this series, just because I think it really lets you like settle down with these characters. But if you've been kind of waiting for this series to wrap up, to start flipping through it and reading it, because you're like, what if the ending sucks? I don't want to read it if the ending sucks. This is just a good ending. I'm glad it wrapped up where it did, although I totally could have read a whole bunch more of Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man. But this was just really, really fun and excellent. The art's beautiful as always. Good covers. Good writing. I don't know. It's just... It's the kind of Spider-Man story that I wish we got more of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, whatever Hickman does next, I would like to see more of this thing from him, and I suspect that's kind of what he's interested in doing at this point. He seems very tired of doing the big the big like sprawling sci-fi epic thing, and he seems to want to pare more down towards like these like much smaller, more like character-focused stories, because that stuff's always been there in his work pretty significantly. That's why all of the big sprawling sci-fi stuff works, is because he does have such a good handle on character. But it seems like, yeah, as you said, like, it's easy for that to get lost in the kind of big epic of it all. So I'm hopeful for whatever thing he does next. Hopefully something at DC. I know we've talked about that significantly off air.
I hope he does something fucking weird.
That's actually really what
It's
I
been
want.
a long time since Hickman's done something real weird. I mean,
Yeah. Black Monday Murder still
Black
need
Monday
to be
Murder,
to get
that needs to be finished.
He's doing like the 3 worlds, 3 moons thing, and I know they just got their own website. They're like moving off of Substack, but it's like still a subscriber thing. I need to check that out at some point, but
East of West was so weird.
East of West is fucking weird.
It is an extremely weird book, and like I feel like Hickman sort of goes back and forth between doing more accessible reading kind of stuff to just doing batshit insane things, and we're about due for something batshit insane.
The last batshit insane thing he really did was like Decorum, right?
Oh yeah, Decorum counts.
It was like 2021, I think, and I think it was the same time as Black Monday Murders was coming out. So yeah, that's kind of been the last like really off the rails thing he did. Yeah, we are really due for that. So yeah, do some fun little character work, and then also do something fucking insane. Like,
I would also totally read like a like Vatu-esque kind of sprawling, but also like not necessarily like exclusively middle grade reader, but like very middle grade reader accessible book.
yeah,
Like if Hickman sat down and was like, "I'm gonna make my bone,"
oh,
I would
God,
be
yeah.
hyped. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be extremely.
he's a
compulsive.
dad. I don't know.
I think he'd have it in him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my short take on Ultimate Spider-Man 24. Should we talk about End of Life?
Yeah, let's
The
talk about
newest
End of
really
Life.
good title.
That's, I think, the one that we all read. Another one of them that we all read. Pearl and I were not as big of fans of this, but I want to hear your kind of take first.
I would not call myself a fan of this. I think I'm tentatively committed to continuing to read it, because I think the premise is interesting. I think that the premise of End of Life is like from the first issue, like a hitman gets swept up in basically a scandal after he like pisses off the like hitman organization that he's a part of, and then he has to go on the run, and he's kind of an asshole. He's sort of like Archer or something. Like he's like a kind of a womanizing, like drinking, partying bad boy, but who like thinks he's really cool, but he's also just like not, but he's like also really good at being a hitman.
Yeah.
You know, I think like that's how I would describe it. It's sort of like James Bond, but like if James Bond were actually like portrayed as much of a douchebag as James Bond actually is, you know?
Yeah.
And it's played up for laughs. This is kind of like an action comedy. And then he's like on the run, he has to go back home, and then he like finds out his dad is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's kind of what happens in the first issue. That's like in the promos and stuff. I think I'm like not spoiling a ton for you. What I would say is I came away from this issue not super impressed, because I know that Starks can do better than this.
Yeah.
I also think that Starks is like, he has a hard job in front of him with this first issue because, or I should say he had a hard job in front of him with this first issue because he's following up the new Nice House by the Sea issue and the first issue of Bleeding Hearts, which I just think is like a tough act to follow, because in my head I'm like, this is the third Vertigo title. I will be comparing it to the two things that came before.
Yeah.
And those things are just so excellent, and I think like more up my alley than this is. I also think it's not necessarily 100% my humor.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that I do enjoy like Archer or something. I think like a lot of my enjoyment of that show is that I was able to watch a lot more of it all at once, rather than like getting an issue at a time. But I am gonna keep reading it. I like Starks. I also like, I think the art's pretty interesting in it. It's not amazing. This is like not Alvaro Martinez Bueno or anything, but it's just good art from Steve Pugh. And I'm also, I don't know, like I'm like kind of vaguely intrigued by the setup. I think it's neat. I love a Hitman story.
Mm-hmm.
I love a silly, goofy Hitman story.
Yeah.
It just remains to be seen whether this will be the story for me. I do think that there's some glaring flaws in this book. Like a lot of the kind of like straight up jokes don't really land super well for me.
God, I was rolling my eyes like every single page of this book.
Yeah.
It was cringe.
There's some cringe in this book, yeah.
Which is, it's kind of odd, right? Where, like, Kyle Starks, we do like him around here. Like, similarly, like,
They can't all be winners.
They
Mr.
can't all be winners, Mr. Starks. I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. That was, like, very mild, and he took it in really good fun. Unfortunately, this is... I wasn't that impressed by this. At the same time, you bring up a very good point that, like, anything that was going to follow Bleeding Hearts and Nice House was going to be really hard to follow up. That said, I just, like, I didn't hate it. Similarly, I like a good goofy Hitman story. I do like Steve Pugh. I think when the book is trying to be more dramatic, it's maybe a little bit more successful when it's like trying to tease out. And I read the second issue. I don't remember a lot about it, but I just like it's like that impression that like, oh yeah, I think there was some better dramatic stuff that happened in the second issue. I don't remember it. And I think that stuff kind of worked better for me than a lot of the comedy did. It's a little surprising given that, like, Starks is a funny fucking guy. Like, he has a lot of incredibly funny books, and this just doesn't... Maybe it's just the Archer-ness of it all is too played up. Maybe...
Yeah, I do think Archer, like, plays it a little less cringily.
Yeah.
I think the comedy feels a little smarter in Archer than in this. Or something like... Have you seen Gary and His Demons?
I've not, no.
That's, like, a really good other, like, workplace, like, action comedy cartoon, and it's, like, similarly kind of, like, this guy is, like, told that he's, like, the demon hunter of prophecy, and he's, like, forced to be a demon hunter, but, like, he just ends up being, like, a salaryman in, like, an American office park hunting demons, and he was told that, like, someone else would inherit the title, but now he's, like, 50 and, like, balding and his body hurts and he's, like, still forced to, like, just fucking do this job that he, like, didn't think he'd be doing in his 50s. And the comedy, I think, feels like it's trying a little too hard in End of Life. Which is funny because I feel like that's, like, I don't feel that way about, like, the 7 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton or something.
No.
Like, that feels a little more kind of understated and a little more self-aware.
Yeah. Most Starks books do. Even Wrestle Heist, which is on the shelves right now alongside this, I think feels a lot more. And even this team did the Black Label book Peacemaker. Peacemaker Tries Hard, which is funny considering we're talking about how try hard the comedy is here and how these feel like very comparable books in the sense of like Peacemaker also is kind of a book about like kind of an annoying shithead who's like really good at killing people, who's got to figure out how to be really good at like being a chill normal dude. And I kind of think that the Peacemaker one feels a lot less forced than this one does. Like they're very similar books, same writer, same artist, very similar kind of like these two guys like put their foot in their mouths constantly. And maybe it's just because the Peacemaker, he doesn't, like, think he's as cool as, whatever this fucking guy's name is.
Stallion.
Eddie Stallion, there we go. He doesn't think he's, like, as hot shit as Eddie Stallion does, and so maybe that's part of it. Maybe the wackiness of the DC universe. Maybe it could be balanced by being a little bit more wacky, because, like, the Peacemaker book has, like, Mansoor Mala and the Brain and the cocaine guy and the Red Bee, and, like, a bunch of, like, wacky DC, like, C and D and Z list bullshit that really, like, helps the tone. Yeah. Whereas, like, End of Life, I also don't think is, like, weird enough. I think it needs to be, like, 15% weirder at least.
Yeah, I also think that he needs to make me care about the characters a little more, which I do think will come with time. I mean, I think making me care deeply about a character in one issue is difficult. Like, I'm not really sure that, like... even issue 1 of like Next House by the Lake or something, for instance, made me be like, damn, I really care about all these fucking people stuck in this house, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think hopefully as he teases out the kind of dramatic interpersonal relationships between these characters and like what it means for him to be like losing his family and stuff, like you'll get to care more about him, and then maybe he'll kind of like even out the tone a little bit as the series goes on.
Yeah.
But right now I think this is like, other than 100 Bullets, which I'm just like not excited about, like this seems like the one that I'm the least excited about that's hitting the shelves.
Yeah. Similarly, I'll read the next few issues, at least probably the first arc, hopefully. But yeah, other than 100 Bullets, which you'd have to pay me to read 100 Bullets.
I'm not reading the second book of this.
That's reasonable, Diva.
I really will not be reading the second book. It wasn't good.
It's not girly pop.
It's like, first of all, it's not girly pop. There's no gay people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It just feels like it's already out of ideas in a way that a book that's like on issue 25 feels like it's out of ideas.
Guys, Walter has a take.
I do, yeah.
I find across serialized media, comedies start slower because they often require your familiarity with it to get some of the jokes. Which I do think that's kind of what I'm, like, yeah, like what I'm maybe trying to get at a little bit is, like, it might feel funnier after a few issues.
How about Walter says that to my face?
Cowering sounds from the children's nook. Yeah, that's End of Life, the 3rd series from Vertigo. Not a smash hit in my head yet, but it could really grow on me. I'm reserving judgment.
Can I say one last thing about it?
No.
It's that, like, regardless of how I feel about its quality, and I kind of feel this way about the book next week, which I liked more than this. But again, setting quality aside, I think both of them are not books that feel. Hold on, sorry. Incredible, thank you, friend of the pod.
Walter and Dr. Pearl are gonna fight after this episode.
They're beefing. DCKO,
Yeah.
Walter versus Pearl.
It hasn't been this tense in the store since Persephone called Walter an op.
Don't remind Walter. I feel like I just got out of the spiritual doghouse with myself.
All I'm saying is I'm his favorite.
Oh, yeah, I mean, understandably. That's fair. That's fair and reasonable.
I haven't accused him of being a CIA plant.
But just briefly...
Yo, Walter says DCKO best lettering in a DC book this year. That's crazy.
Interesting take. I need to think about that more.
Can I tell you something about Drawn and Quarterly since we're on the subject? Before I knew it was called Drawn and Quarterly, I just saw D and Q and I thought it was Dairy and Queen. And I, in my head, always called it Dairy and Queen. And even to this day, sometimes I see it on the side of books, and I, in my head, say, "Oh, it's Dairy and Queen."
You should make like a little zine, and like the self-published imprint should be Dairy and Queen.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
Sorry, I just...
No, don't apologize.
I forgot about that little factoid, and I needed you to know.
No, that was important. Thank you for sharing that. You don't apologize for that. That was beautiful. But yeah, just to briefly kind of say my thing about End of Life is that, like, End of Life and the Ezra Kane thing coming out next week, again, setting quality aside, I kind of question why they're Vertigo specifically. Like, they don't really feel, I don't know, like Vertigo again is like, not everything needs to be the most boundary pushing thing on God's green earth, but like, I kind of just feel like this would be like this and the Ezra Kane thing would be like middle of the road, like Image or DC, or not DC, Image or Dark Horse things. I don't really understand why they need to be like what said about them said like this is going to be Vertigo. There's a couple others in the lineup too that are coming up that again haven't read, but I'm just kind of like, this could be, you know, regardless of quality, why is this a Vertigo title?
Yeah, I'm curious to see kind of if it survives long enough, where tonally this version of Vertigo will go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not particularly enthused by this, as you can tell, but still intrigued, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that I'm more enthused by...
Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
Can I... Okay. So can I start us off with this one?
Yeah.
I have long given Scott Snyder and this series, as much as I do like it, I have given this series shit for, like, not doing enough to differentiate itself, and also for, like, spoiling itself, like, early with promotional material. I would like to be the first to admit that, like, they got me. They got me with this one. Because, like, full spoilers, they threw her costume up, they revealed it, and they were like, guys, we revealed it. And I was like, damn, I wish I'd gotten to see that. And then at the end, they're like, psych, bitch, that wasn't it. It was actually so much weirder than that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I thought that was really cool that they utilized the like, metatextual, like, hype machine to actually, actually surprise you. Like, the series has built up a reputation for, like, not letting it surprise you. And now it's, like, you harnessed that to, like, actually do something really cool and interesting. So, like, yeah, I just wanted to shout that out and be, like, the first to, like, cop to that.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the first issues where I kind of turned, like, in a while, because this did happen a couple times as I was starting the series, but I feel like I had grown a little bit numb to it, because I was just like, oh, Bane is bigger now,
Yeah.
you know? Where I kind of turned a page and I was like, oh shit, that's actually crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Look what they did to her, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I also, as a huge fan of the New 52 Batman Snyder Court of Owls, unabashed New 52 Court of Owls art chill right here.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, spooky stories to read in the dark. Court of Owls Batman. Rather bone chilling. I'm excited for the kind of, like, whatever this is, Absolute Universe Court of Owls tease. I also just, like, love that you have, like, cute, adorable lesbian Poison Ivy in the main DC universe, but here she's, like, monstrous. Because I just think it's a hard sell to make, like, sexy plant woman a true monster in a superhero comic, just because they're like, but where are her boobs, though?
Yeah.
You know? How will the comics bros jerk off to her if you can't tell where her boobs are? But in this, she's like a biblically accurate angel, and it's sick. The art's really good too.
Yeah, getting Eric Conte, they've brought in all these guest artists that they've brought in, like Marcos Martin and Eric Conte, and, like, I've really enjoyed the fill-in issues for Absolute Batman. Some like, again, I love Dragoda, but sometimes maybe even more, because we just get these, like, nice little, like, arcs that are, like, very built around these, like, 2-issue arcs which are built around the artist's strengths. Like, the Marcos Martin issues with Mr. Freeze were very built around, like, Marcos Martin's strengths. Similarly, I feel like this, like, the hyperkineticism of Eric Conte's art, the kind of, like, who does it remind me of? It, like, reminds me a little bit of, like, Ricardo Ortiz Lopez. It reminds me a little bit of, there was somebody else I'm forgetting, and I'm not going to waste our time trying to remember it. But, like, Scott Snyder has been doing, like, a good job of, like, building these kind of, like, middle arcs around the artist that he's, like, writing for. And I think he does a very good job here with these just, like, absolutely gnarly fucking, like, these, like, plant, animal, etc. monsters.
I'm also really glad to get a sort of emotional issue after kind of 2 or 3 issues. It was like 2 issues of, like, Dragon Ball fight with Bane, and then, like, the Joker issue, where there's not really kind of a lot of exploration of, like, Batman as an emotional character.
Yeah.
It's just, like, very flashy superhero comics, and here you really get a sense of, like, Bruce's mind and like what he's feeling and all of his doubts and angers and stuff, which I think is really cool.
Mhm.
And also you get some really fun, kind of broader Bat Family teases. You know, you get some more Harley. Get a little bit of Dick Grayson in there.
Very curious where that's going to go.
Just a good time.
Yeah.
Excited to see like when and if Absolute Robin shall appear.
Issue 20.
Issue 20?
Issue 20.
Is that because Snyder tweeted about it?
He did. Heavily redacted cover. So they're not showing most of it, but...
Cool. Sick.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
It's okay. You love a spoiler.
I do.
Um,
I'm sorry.
You're good. It's absolute Batman. Like, it's
Well,
not like
still.
you told me when I was gonna die. I do think it would be cool if like Robin turned out to be the like absolute Harley or something. I thought that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked this a lot. Another very good cover.
Mm-hmm.
I love the like body horror plant dominatrix poison ivy cover.
Yeah.
That's also an excellent cover. Yeah.
The Eric Conte with the plants and flesh coming out of Bruce's mouth.
That's all that I read this week. Guys, Jurassic Park's really good.
I believe it.
That's my pitch.
I think they turned it into a movie.
No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how how would you make the dinosaurs?
It's not a good movie. It doesn't translate very well, and most people find it awful.
Do the dinosaurs kiss? Because
Yeah.
that's... If I read Jurassic Park a long time ago, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that they kiss.
It's
Well, I
much
just-
more graphic than that. but yes.
How would you film dinosaurs if we don't have dinosaurs?
Um,
Did they get real dinosaurs for the movie?
They made Jurassic Park, right?
Oh, okay.
Like, that's real, right?
Okay.
it was actually a documentary.
James Cameron and Steven Spielberg actually built it for, like, maximum authenticity, right? Right? Right?
Yes, Persephone.
Yeah.
Oh, thank fucking God. I was...
Santa is also real.
Very brief, have you...
And Star Wars, they actually did War of the Stars.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Solid JJ video where it's like Superman and Martian Manhunter are at Ma and Pa Kent's for Christmas, and they keep trying to tell, or like Martian Manhunter keeps trying to imply that like Santa isn't real, and the
Oh,
Kents
yeah.
are like, no, don't fucking say anything. And then Lex tells him that Santa's real. And they're like, wow, why did you do that? That was really nice of you, Mr. Lex, to tell him that Santa is real. He's like, yeah, Santa's fucking real, right?
I have seen that. That's fun. Friend of the pod, Solid JJ. We like
Yeah.
those videos. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else do you have to talk about?
Okay, well, I'm not going to go into depth on a bunch of these. Very lightning review, Death Fight Forever, fun, cool. Thank you, Andrew McLean, for being back. Thank you, Alexis Zarit, for having beautiful day-glow colors that not many people are doing. Very doing the, like, 80s G.I. Joe, like, pastiche in a very fun way. Cool book. Our Soot-Stained Heart, I continue to have a lot of fun with this book. The writing and world building can sometimes be a little bit like clunky and confusing, but it's just like really fucking weird. It's like, what if Santa and the ice wizard from Santa Claus is Coming to Town were like 500 years old, and the town was powered by coal, which is to say it was powered by sin. That like there were like sin quotas to make the coal. Stipin Morian, artist of Bleeding Hearts and 20th Century Men, is the artist on this book. It's just very fun cartooning. It's really, really great, really weird fucking cartooning. They're just having a lot of fun doing just a weird goddamn Christmas book. And I'm an absolute, since Grant Morrison and Dan Mora's Klaus, I'm a big shell for like weird fucking Christmas book. Give me like All-Star Santa Claus, which is what Klaus is. It's like, give me Our Soot-Stained Heart, which is, I don't even know what the fuck to describe this book as. It's weird. Good time. Starship Godzilla, it continues to be good. It continues to be fun. I don't know what else to tell you. Batman Adventures Mad Love came out in a facsimile edition this week, and I wasn't initially going to read it, but I had a little bit of time in between finishing the Garth Ennis Hellblazer Omnibus, which phenomenal, exquisite. That Son of Man arc at the very end is 10 times more fucking insane than I remembered it being, and that was the Mafia Mpreg arc. It's actually a lot more insane than that. Similarly, I read Billy Bat, really liked it, and I'm partway into The Art of Charlie Chan Hok Chi by Sunny Liu. We'll talk more about that some other time when I've actually finished it. But Mad Love, the original kind of Harley Quinn story that Paul Dini and Bruce Timm did, I really liked this, actually. I mean, I wasn't surprised to like it, but I was surprised a little bit. I always knew the kind of Harley being abused stuff was pretty front and center pretty early on. I was surprised both how quickly and immediately that was front and center in a pretty explicit, not even coded way. And then I was also, more than that, I was really surprised by the level of agency she is shown even within this abusive dynamic. She's still very much in the still very much kind of in the under the Joker's control in a lot of ways, and still very buying into his specific thing. And I kind of thought at first when reading it that the narrative was, because there's a bit where Batman kind of implies that she's not smart and that she fucked her way through college or whatever, and it's I remember being okay, that's kind of a weird misogynistic dig to kind of make, but then the narrative kind of subverts that later by making it clear that that's kind of Batman's point of view, and he later kind of goes to the Joker, he's yeah, actually Harley had me, first try she nearly had my ass, and the only reason that she didn't was because I knew that I could play your ego off of her. The only reason I got out is because you're a fucking maniac. And she, and it really kind of gave her credit in a way that I was kind of surprised by, and I really liked. I thought it was a good, fun story as well. Tim is just a fantastic cartoonist. I can really see why it earned because it did earn an Eisner at the time.
Yeah, it's one of the collections that I eye a lot on the Batman shelf. Where I'm just ooh, that I know that's got good Batman in it.
And it does.
That's such a good cartoon too.
Yeah. I think they adapted the story straight into an episode. I think directly. But yeah, it's really good. We have the 64-page special of just the original Mad Love story. I'm putting my copy back, so if you want it, it's around. But it's good. I really enjoyed it. And speaking of things I enjoyed tremendously, The Muppets Noir. Absolute doesn't matter. Return of Vertigo doesn't matter. Anything I liked and loved doesn't matter. The Muppets are back. The most important thing to comics this week. And it's really fucking good, guys. It's really fucking good. It's really funny. Thank you, Roger Landridge, for making just a good quality Muppets comic. Thank you for making a really good noir riff that's just really rock solid on riffing on noirs in a way that is both actually contends with noirs as they are while also still not, I don't know, being mean-spirited or anything. It feels very loving. It feels very in the tone of the characters is just rock solid right there. It's good. It's a good fucking time. I don't really have anything other to say about it. It's just really funny. Yeah, there's a bit in here about what Big Pie doesn't want you to know, such as that every pie has been personally endorsed by ghosts.
Awesome. I'm excited.
I love that we sold out of it today.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprised in the least that happened.
Friend of the podcast and the store, The Muppets. Yeah. I kind of think that's broadly it as far as the floppies go, and I still need to read Adventure Time at some point. I'm so fucking behind, but so it goes.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Pearl?
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. We're gonna close the store. Yeah, we're gonna okay. We're ready to go now. I didn't know where I was going with that.
We had a